And 3, 2, 1. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
And Craze tonight, we are going to be talking and having a conversation with an indie filmmaker. He's got a movie coming out called The Conversation. We're going to be talking to him, and we're also going to be talking about getting to work.
Getting to work.
Get to work. Let's get to work.
What is you doing?
That's coming up.
That's coming up. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. Yeah, you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, Vera, and I am with
George the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday, May 13th, and we are live. We are in the middle of May, man. Middle of May. Lou, what's up? If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, comment, do all that fun stuff. We come to you live every Tuesday night, and we talk to indie creators from all walks of life, whether it's music, comics. Tonight, we have an indie filmmaker. So There you go. But what's going on, Sammy? What you got going on?
Oh, grinding in the studio, getting ready for another trip next week, work trip. But besides that, I finally opened some campaigns that I backed. The box that was sitting in the dining room, and so I got in the mail. I got Deputized by Chris Hayes, and the crew. Nice. Path of the Pale Rider by Laurie Calcaterra. Sweet. And then I got Serial Killer 1 and 2. This is pretty cool. So I forget what I back until it shows up in the mail. Yeah. and then it sits there, and then because I'm so busy grinding, and then when I finally open it, I'm like, oh, I forgot I backed this. I was like, I forgot I backed that.
Man, I backed tons of campaigns. Yeah. I used to back the physical tiers, but I just don't have any more room for all the physical stuff. So I do a lot of digital stuff. Yeah. And if you think you don't open your stuff, I don't even know what I'm getting in the mail. Sometimes, a lot of the times, obviously people will send you a PDF, but it's like in a link that expires, 3 weeks or whatever. Yeah. So a ton of the stuff that I've gotten has expired because I never got to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And at that point, I don't know what I've backed anymore. You know what I mean? That's just to support the indies. But it gets a little crazy.
It does. Getting ready for closing out this, getting ready to get the books to the people in July. Oh, right. But also in July, it's my first con for the summer. It's going to be RetroCon. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. And then it's 2 in August, and then 2 in September, and 2 in October. So it's like bang, bang, bang. So I'll be busy those months. So it starts off with RetroCon, then Bell County Comic Con, and Texas Latino Comic Con in August. So I'm looking forward to those. And then I'm doing some repeats: Denton Comic Art Expo, College Station Comic Con. I'm doing Big Texas Comic Con, and there's one more. I always forget that name, but that one's in Houston. And I have some people, if you're watching out here, my IG followers, I have some people in IG that are going to be meeting with me up there, and fans of my book. So I'm looking forward to connecting with them out there as well. So
that's awesome, dude. Yeah. No, I think my first, my convention, the only convention I have in the summer, I really haven't booked too many. It's Hurricane out in East Rockaway, New York, in Long Island. So if you're in Long Island, New York, come check out Hurricane over at Bethany Church, 100 Main Street, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a 1-day show. Are your shows 1-day shows, 2-day shows? Do you know?
The Texas Latino Comic Con's a 1-day show, and the
Okay.
Denton Comic Art Expo are 1-day shows. Everything else is either 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. I'm also going to be doing, I'm trying to get into like the whole, book signings and stuff like that into some of these comic book stores, but there aren't too many in my area, so I got to figure that out.
Yeah, I plan on doing that in the holiday season. A lot of LCSs.
Yeah.
One, because I got a surprise that's going to be coming out that's right in time for the season, and then I also have the art book that I'll be launching in the fall. So I want to do book signings in the stores, and then once I secured the print out of demand distributor, and I get it into Barnes and Noble's hands, I want to talk to my local Barnes and Nobles about doing a book signing.
Yeah, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going on a few podcasts just to promote I have a campaign coming out on Kickstarter in October that we're going to talk more about as it gets closer. So I'll be doing that. So I'm going to be, you got to do the whole circuit. So I'll be doing that. What's up, Dan? Dan Barlow in the house. What up, crazies? Happy Tuesday. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, man. So it's going to be, it's going to be an exciting summer. We'll see how it goes. Listen, next year, hopefully, Sam, you and I can head out to San Diego. We live some of the memories.
We got to get it. So you got to apply and I got to apply. And
Yeah,
one of us is going to break in. And then I think we just apply for like a booth and we just split it.
Oh, snap. Hades in the house.
But I definitely want to do San Diego next year because next year I should have the entire There's an Alien on My Toilet series completed year and going into Duty's Adventures and the spinoffs. So
it'll be fun.
It'll be a big year. But enough about that. We do have a filmmaker in the waiting room, chomping at the bits. And again, we didn't put any food in the green room, and he's starving, and not really a host. So, without further ado, we're going to bring in our guest. What's up, Ben?
How you doing, guys?
Excellent, man. Good to see you. I know it's late or early where you are, so thank you for staying up and joining us tonight, Ben. Now, tell us exactly where you are.
So anyone familiar with England? I'm kind of Oxford area, basically. So people don't know it's very Game of Thrones kind of area. There's lots of cobblestones and big kind of like castle-y type sort of areas. So it's a pretty good place to sort of live, really.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my kind of place.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's on one hand you've got the kind of Game of Thrones kind of setup, and then on the other sort of side of the water, it's London. It's all kind of buildings and skyscrapers and all that kind of good stuff. So from a creative point of view, it's quite good. You've got those two kind of opposite poles, which is kind of good.
Yeah. Lou says it's a bit posh. She says
it is. Yeah, it is.
Well, listen. Before you came on, we had a chance to kind of chat with you for a little bit, and we were very impressed by your background there. I know Sam caught some of that stuff. I love the Back to the Future. I'm a big fan. The Cobra Kai in the back. I know Sam loves the action figures. You even have you mentioned you have Stan Lee back there, don't you?
Yeah, Stan there. He's rocking the Captain America shield and Mjolnir, and he's actually wearing Marty McFly's 2015 trainers as well. There.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
I love it. Oh, Hades is throwing shade. He's not posh, Lou.
No, I get that a lot because of, again, accent wise, but it's quite funny where from where I am actually from. I'm kind of more, I'm slumming it. They kind of like, they say, I don't want to speak to him. It's kind of, his accent. But to everybody else, I think I sound quite posh.
That's hilarious. So, Ben, tell the people a little bit about who Ben Maynard, am I pronouncing that? Maynard, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right, cool. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Ben.
So I basically got into kind of filmmaking, and I've always been creative, much like you guys, kind of drawing and kind of into comics and kind of all that good stuff, films. And then I kind of just did a bit of college and stuff like that, and then just kind of went out and started earning money and kind of enjoyed having fun at the weekends and just started paying for the weekends, as you do. And then it was one of the jobs I kind of got into. I started doing some more video work for the company and found that I really enjoyed that kind of thing. And then I'd go out to Comic Cons and kind of, film there, and kind of I got into a TV sort of studio after that. And then that kind of led into some film work, and that's basically how I kind of got the bug for kind of filmmaking and kind of just using that side of my creativity rather than kind of drawing. But again, speaking with Hades, it came in the chat, I kind of speaking to him, tapping him up about maybe doing a comic book with him as well. So that'd be kind of fun. Get back into my kind of artistic roots and get back to drawing, I think, as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. Did you ever? I didn't say he was posh. Did you ever write comics, or did you ever write any like maybe like screenplays and stuff like that for like the filmmaking that you started to work on creatively, or has it always been just
no?
work?
So yeah, pretty much. So pretty much, I've got a stack like this, already sat here waiting to go. With stuff that I've kind of written and it's not gone anywhere yet, because again, you got to pay them bills, right? So I've got a big stack of stuff there that I want to get into, but yeah, no, it's more from a fan base point of view. I'm usually working on other people's projects and kind of doing a bit of VFX. I do kind of one sheets, posters, that kind of stuff, a bit of social media stuff, and then film live events for people and stuff like that as well. So I'm sort of always doing other people's sort of projects. So I'm really trying to kick my butt this year and kind of go, look, I really need to knuckle down and get some more of my own projects out there. And that was where the kind of the link up with ASAP Imagination came in. We kind of met through the grapevine and through one of our actors, and we sort of got speaking, and I realized Hades is like a brother from another mother with me. So same age, kind of same influences and things like that growing up. So yeah, we're literally like this. We only just met each other kind of like a week or two ago, because we did our first com event. So we've been talking like this, on Zooms and phone calls, but we actually only just met in person like a week or two ago.
Wow.
Our first event, and that was when we launched the Kickstarter for the film. So it was quite good.
Nah, Hades is a great dude, man. It's funny. I have a similar like story like that. He's the type of person that you just feel like you've known. Like, what I mean? That's just the type of guy that Hades is. So big shout out to him. And I know that the film that you're currently working on, The Conversation, right? It has to do with some of the characters from the world of ASAP Imagination. So talk a little bit about, obviously you met with Hades, but what interested you in The Conversation? And tell us a little bit about The Conversation and what that is.
Yeah, great. So yeah, basically just talking with Hades, kind of, I got a wealth of kind of what this whole universe that they've kind of created, Laurie and himself, again, people like yourself, George, kind of get in there, and it's, all these great characters. I just kind of instantly was like, wow, I was really impressed by the kind of world that they've built. And obviously Hades had mentioned he'd like to kind of expand into different media, maybe doing some animated stuff, live action things, as well as the comics. And I could just see the potential there, looking at their back catalogue. I was kind of impressed and just thought, this is a great thing to get in at the ground floor level. And really be a part of kind of turning these characters into something live action. So that was what really got the bug. And obviously then meeting Hades and talking with him and working out what we kind of want to do, and how we want to move it forward. We've got kind of other projects that we're kind of thinking about, kind of once this one's kind of out of the band, we're already kind of writing other things. We're already kind of got plans in the works. Cool. But yeah, the good thing about this is it's with Hades being directly involved as well. We're keeping everything, it will all be canon. So everything that kind of we do live action will all work with the comics. We're not just lifting straight from the comics. These will all be like new stories that are kind of intertwined in between all the comics as well. That's so cool. We're really building that canon and that whole world. So it'll all be, multimedia, and it'll all be kind of, it'll all work together. Yeah.
So the Conversation, the film itself, I know that it has to do with two of the main characters within the world.
Yep.
One is the Dead of Night, right? The night, and then the other one.
You knew very well, George, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, fun character. I had the honor and to write the second issue, so that's awesome. And we're still working on stuff for that. But I know you have him in the film, and then you have the other character in the film. So tell me a little bit about both characters and how that's coming together. If you don't spoil anything, but just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So So basically, we're going to have the Conversation is going to star, as you said, Dead Night, and Foe from the Messiah comics as well, who we don't know a lot about his background. We maybe might find a bit more about it in this film that we kind of got coming up. But yeah, we thought it'd be really fun, because usually, you start, when you jump into live action from something, you usually do an origin story where you go back and tell something. And And we thought it'd be really interesting to just start from the jump, literally just introduce 2 characters straight away that haven't kind of met in the comics yet. And we thought that would be a really interesting sort of dynamic to start with, you know, from this. Oh, we're starting with a crossover straight away. We thought it'd be really, really kind of cool. And any of your audience are familiar with ASAP stuff. You know, the Dead Knights are pretty hard. You know, he's a pretty serious geezer. And, you know, he's a pretty, you know, what I've been saying to people is it's that kind of, you know, an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. So you've got Foe, who's this kind of quick, you know, kind of fast parkour kind of character. And then you've got this sturdy, big unit that is the kind of Dead Knight. So we thought, you know, those two come across each other, you know, are they friends? Are they foes? You know, what's going to kind of come out of that? And so we kind of wrote this story based on, you know, what would happen if these 2 guys met. And that's pretty much the crux of the film.
That's awesome. How long is the film? What are you guys thinking of running time for it?
So we weren't trying to, because we're sort of thinking it's basically like a proof of concept. So it'll be our first film out the bat, and then it'll be a sort of a proof of concept of, you know, what we can kind of deliver, what kind of we can show the fans, and, you know, hopefully get them excited about the kind of stuff we can do. So we're not really 100% sure. We've obviously, again, you script these things out, and then based on budget and time, it kind of gets chopped down. But I think it will be under the 30-minute mark or around there. I think in between. If we, you know, we can go longer, we'll do it longer. But I think that's where we're shooting at the kind of happy mark, and just keep it as a sort of first short.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I keep up with all that stuff as a fan, and also like as a collaborator, obviously. But I do. I mean, I've seen some of the, obviously, the masks that we have, because, you know, you have the masks for there it is. Yeah. See, so that's. It's so cool looking, man. Yeah, it's so cool looking. I mean, obviously, Foe has the mask. Yeah, you have the scars and stuff like that. So, yeah, it looks like it's. Look at that. There it is. That's the other character.
Nice.
So this is all the kind of the actual kind of props we've built, and we've kind of got full suits. All sorts of stuff kind of going on. So yeah, it's kind of fun.
Oh, dude, that is so amazing. And the actors that you've already cast for these guys, so they're ready to rock and roll. I mean, this thing it's ready to go. It's ready to go. I know you guys are on Kickstarter. So what are some of the things that you guys are offering on the Kickstarter? If you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so some of the things we kind of thought to do, obviously, you've got the film itself. It can be released as a digital download. It'll be streaming as well, because we're going to do cinema nights once it's released as well. So we'll kind of be going out to a few cinemas and kind of having the actors with us and doing stuff like that. So that's all incorporated. We've got posters that we've kind of got. I don't know if you can see this up there, but we've got the conversation poster. We've got those that we're kind of doing, and they're double-sided with another character that's kind of just been coming into the mix, is the Conjector. So he's kind of this fourth wall breaking kind of guy who's kind of peering behind the curtain and showing us what's really going on in the kind of world of everything. So we've got that going on. We've got physical releases as well, because, you know, again, we're men of a certain age and we like our physical media. So you know, we're going to be doing kind of got these ones here. So like the physical, we'll have a DVD that's kind of there that we're kind of releasing. So like a DVD there.
That's nice, dude.
Yeah, and then for us slightly older guys, we're going to do a VHS release too.
Oh, wow.
You are bringing it back.
A bit of nostalgia there, a bit of old school VHS.
I love it.
So,
I like
I'm a collector,
I like how you've aged it a little bit too. Like you've aged the VHS. I love it.
Yeah, we've got the peelable stickers on the front. You know, it's kind of, so I mean, they're like silly ones. You know, I appreciate not everybody will have a VHS player over there.
I do.
Yeah, well, so do I. I've got two just over.
I have a combo. I have a DVD VHS combo.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, it's you know, and one of those things. But physical media, we're kind of big on that. And again, we're doing some other little posters. So part of the Kickstarter campaign equally is. Anybody familiar with the world, you know, there was the event that happened, everything was plunged into darkness, and then, you know, loads of people went missing and disappeared. So one of the Kickstarter rewards is you can have yourself put on a poster, a missing poster, and during the beginning of the film, when we're kind of opening up and all the credits are in, you know, we're going to pan over the walls and all the kind of wall of the missing and things like that. So people, this is Bill from Bill and Ted, but, you know, you guys at home, you could kind of get yourself featured in the poster, have all your details there or whatever you want to do, It's got
Yes,
OPSEC there, links as well to the other world.
dude. I like that.
So then, yeah, you at home could have, yourself, one of your parents, your dog, whatever you want to do, and they could be featured actually in the film.
Oh, that is awesome, dude. That sounds really, really cool. I like that idea.
We thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, get people, get some of the fans and some of the audience actually in the movie. There's nothing greater than kind of sitting there watching a film and be like, that's me.
There I am. I've been missing since 2:00 on whatever day is free. That's amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
That's amazing. I like that, man. So how far along? I mean, obviously filmmaking is different than comic book making to a certain extent. How far along are you guys in the process? Did you do any, storyboards for it? What are some of the things that you guys have started to do already for it?
Yeah, so Mitch has done some wonderful stuff for us, got us kind of some storyboards together. He and Hades sat down and kind of worked out some bits and bobs that they wanted to do. We're kind of in the midst of kind of doing our choreo and kind of getting everything we want choreographed, a lot of the fight scenes. We're just working through that now. We've scouted a few locations. We're pretty much sure of where we want to go, but again, we're just keeping our options open to kind of really flesh the world out. Obviously, we got actors cast. One of the guys who we've got cast as Foe, Sonny, he's a parkour guy, so he's fluent with kind of flips and tricks and all that kind of good stuff. And he's got kind of a group of guys that kind of all do that kind of thing. So we can feature those in and around London, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're pretty much good to go. We've got most of the costume kind of done. We just got to piece it all together, do a couple of screen tests, get Kieran in there. The weekend just gone, we were at Portsmouth Comic Con, and that was the first time he'd got to try the helmet on. So he leaked a couple of videos of that. So that was a big moment for him. He kind of was really like, I want to get it on. So yeah, he got to try that on. So yeah, we kind of, suits are kind of roughly built. We've got the kind of choreo, we've got storyboards down. We kind of know what we want to do. Locations are pretty much scouted, so we're just kind of just building up with the Kickstarter, trying to get some money behind it just to fund it, just so we can make it as good as it can be for everybody. But yeah, we're pretty much there. I think we're looking to probably start shooting end of June, July. Everything going the way it's going so far, that's probably what we're looking at, and then hopefully a release around November, maybe sooner. Obviously we've got to do the effects and color grading and all that sort of good stuff.
Yeah. So, and without spoiling too much, is there like a scene that you're looking forward to shooting that you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see this one come to life?
Yeah, well, I mean, just pretty much, like watching, just seeing these two units kind of on screen. I think from Hades' point of view as well, it's all still fairly new to me. But what I find kind of most exciting is I get to take these characters and make them, real, make them flesh, make them 3D.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that's the most exciting bit for me is just, again, watching Hades like a little kid. He's built this world in his head, and, other guys like yourselves have helped kind of, flesh it out visually.
Right.
And now I get to kind of do things. It's been interesting, making, so where we've had discussions, he's not thought about certain things. Because obviously, again, as you guys know, in a panel, you visually it's there, and you have so many panels you can do to kind of tell the story across. But then we have that luxury of time with film, so we can kind of we can take a bit more time to kind of build things up or lean into things. But even like sounds, you don't really have to think about the sound of the world too much when it's comics. You might write ching or kind of whatever's going on, the noise, but then to actually add it in. Speaking with Hades, I'm like, how do you want this to sound? He's like, I don't know. I've never really thought about it before, So it's exciting for me to kind of, push him in that kind of direction and make him go, you have to think about this world in more of a 3D everyday aspect rather than just as the comics. So the comics are fantastic, visually. But it's funny, just that different medium just changes. Again, I'm a big fan of comics myself, so.
Right. And you know what I do, right? What I did enjoy working with Hades too is he's, even though he's the creator of the world, he lets you do your thing, man. He's not really the type to be like, well, you got to do it like this because this is the way I saw it, and this is the way. He's kind of like you said, I didn't even think about it. What do you think? And he really lets you be creative. I think and I think it's going to be great because of that,
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely a very collaborative kind of guy. And again, I think we've all worked for people in the past who have actually said very strict on no, it has to be this way, and it doesn't. As we're all creatives, and it's such a better environment when we can all add our little 2 pence in. Obviously, you have to be somewhat kind of restrictive.
Sure,
You can't. Otherwise, you end up with everybody going, "Oh, I want to ad lib left, right, and centre," kind of throw things in,
exactly,
which is great. But then you sort of let's do our safety shot. Let's do it this way. And then, let's kind of see what else you can do. But yeah, I do love that kind of collaborative environment. And we're the same with our actors. We encourage them to kind of, stretch their legs a little bit. Like, I mean, Kieran's already thinking about, how do I carry the dead knight? How do I move? What kind of things do I throw in? He's getting very method with his RoboCop style kind of, how am I going to enter into this character? So it's really cool to see. So I think just, watching these characters come to life is just really exciting for me.
No, that's awesome, dude. And listen, and the campaign has funded. We're at $1,300, US dollars, 14 backers, 19 days to go. The campaign is, it's going, man. It's going. It's like 19 days. So it'll end on Monday, June 2nd, 2025, which is when you guys will start probably shooting, and then you'll probably have the product out by, say, the fall or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's I think what we're kind of aiming for. Yeah. So again, it's we're lucky, and fingers crossed everything still stays where it is and keeps us funded. And again, anybody that wants to kind of chip in, please do. We welcome the support. We can't do this. We know it's like you can't do these things on your own. Sometimes you need that extra help and support of kind of your community to get behind you. And ultimately, that just pushes you to do better for them and make sure that the audience appreciate what you're doing. And as we said, it's all canon. It's not like we're kind of taking something that anybody's already seen. This will be a new story, with the writers of the actual comics, fleshing out that world even further and having an extra, all new story to add to the sort of library of comics already. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really good. And as I said, we've just got to keep pushing. We're going to have a teaser trailer coming out soon as well, sort of before the Kickstarter ends. So we're literally shooting pieces for that and kind of editing that together, because I'm a big fan of not giving away too much in the film. Like I used to love, do you remember when T2 came out and they shot loads of extra footage of just, the T800 being built, and none of that was in the film. I love that kind of, we've lost that a little bit. We get kind of too many spoilers in the trailers.
That's true.
And they give the film away. I love it when you kind of, and I think it shows a little bit more effort when you've kind of shot extra stuff that's just for the teaser, and then none of that will be in the film, but it gets you all ready. It gets you excited for it. That's kind of fun.
Hey, Michael, what's going on, my brother? So for everybody watching, the conversation is on Kickstarter right now. The link is in the chat, and you have some really cool, just some really cool stuff to get. Like you showed us, you have the DVD, you can get a VHS, a poster. I love the missing persons poster that you can be featured in the film. So check that out, guys, if you haven't done so yet. And Ben, so you guys are going to start shooting soon. Anything else you want to plug before we let you run? I know it's late over there too.
No, just the support for the Kickstarter. As I said, although we're funded, we're not going to kind of sit on our laurels and kind of just go, oh, well, that's it now. We're kind of trying to still hustle, make sure that we do deliver the best product for everybody, and make sure that it looks top notch. We want it to be really good. Again, as we're looking at this as an equal piece, the concept sort of piece, so that we can also then show, right, this is what we can do. If we can get then some investment in it, and we can create a bigger sort of piece that we can then put together, it should be kind of fun. So yeah, please guys, just if you're interested in the project, like I said, missing posters, be part of our film, come and join us. Or just even if it's just donating or just sharing, that we welcome that as well. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome, man. Thank you so much, Ben. Arelis, what's going on? Thank you so much for coming on, Ben. Yes. We really appreciate you. And listen, you're welcome back anytime. I know it's late in the morning or early in the morning for you, but thank you so much for coming on, man.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for giving me your platform to kind of talk about it. I appreciate it a lot.
Definitely.
Awesome, buddy. Get some rest. See you.
Yeah. I've got to watch the rest of the show first, and then
all right, man. Take care, Ben.
Oh, see ya. Thanks, guys.
You got it.
That is awesome, dude. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
What you got?
And
good?
my dog is acting up. We'll be back after this commercial break.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at? A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you gonna do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the craze. Making moves on your own. Catch the craze. On your grind in the streets. Catch the craze. Join the movement. Catch the craze.
Awesome. Great interview.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. If you guys haven't done so yet, check out The Conversation on Kickstarter.
Yes.
Link is in the chat.
It's also in the summary.
Yeah, it's in the summary also. It's an independent film about two characters from the Ace of Imagination world being together for the first time, the Dead Knight and Foe, which looks really, really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I love the one where you can have your own missing persons poster at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
You could be featured in the movie. So check it out.
It's exciting. I love the propping. I love all that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. You saw that with the masks and stuff like that?
Yeah, man.
It's really cool because obviously, I know Hades, he's a friend of mine. And he's been showing me some of the stuff that he's been doing. Before the movie idea even came out, he had these masks just kind of ready to rock and roll, right? Hey, what's up, Lori? And so he's been very excited about it, not knowing that, he'd actually be able to use these for an actual film, even though I think that was always in the back of the mind. See it actually happen is really, really cool, man. What's up, Anibal?
Yeah.
But so check it out, guys. Check that. If you guys missed it, check out the interview. We had Ben Maynard here on the show, the filmmaker, the director of the film, The Conversation, coming out soon. Again, the link is in the chat for the Kickstarter that is live right now. They have 19 days to go, and they funded. But with Kickstarter, we want to keep going because you never know, what may drop or whatever.
Combo.
So I have nice.
Yeah, I got it right there. It's actually in front of me.
What the combo?
My combo. Yeah, I use it here sometimes.
Nice. Aniba got one too. I like.
Yeah, man. He knows what's up.
I freaking love it. Oh man, but anyway, so we're moving on to the next segment of the show. Sam,
yes,
please.
It's time to get your meds, baby.
It's time for your medicine.
What's more important, having an opinion and being right, or just putting into work? You better work. What's up?
All right. Well, listen. Like we always say before the shows, you and I will sit down. Hey, what do you want to talk about this week? And this was something that you wanted to discuss, Sammy. So tell me a little bit about where the idea for this particular topic came from, and then we'll talk a little bit about what that even means.
I think we're in a world of sound bites and grandstanding, and everybody wants to be right, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody wants to tell you their opinion, even if it's not asked for or welcomed. And I think for me, I'm like, what are you trying to sell? Are you trying to sell your product, your brand, or you're trying to be right and you just want to have the loudest mic? And so I think it's like when I look at it, there's so much going on in this world that's just noise. I think put into work. It's like let your work speak for itself. I think there's a lot of non-productive time. That's the word I use, right? It's non-productive time putting out, trying to, just overshadow. And you see it everywhere. I see it on every feed. I see it on all social media platforms. There's always these long-winded, conversations. And it's like, what value does it add to what you're trying to do to build your brand? And, I think, pick and choose, which lane do you want to go down? And I feel like my head is grinding. I'd rather focus on that. And I avoid getting into these conversations. That's just going to kill my time.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, 100%. I just wanted to show Michael San Martino. I thought it was Clinger's Day. Yes, remember the topic he brought up last week. I forgot about that. So listen, Mike, we'll do it. We'll do it in a couple of weeks. We promise. I'm gonna
Yes.
write it down. It's gonna be clingers.
Clingers. What's that?
Well, remember we were talking about like some people come to the table at shows and they'll just
Oh
stay there
yes.
and
Okay.
hours and never buy
All
anything.
right. I'll write that down. Klingons.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Not next week because we're not here next week, but the week after.
Klingons. Are that Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, that's what that is. So what I will say about the topic, all right, so you and I, we've been doing this thing for over 20 years, bro. We started back in 03.
Yeah, we were there when Moses was around.
Yeah, and obviously the reason for this particular segment is always the things that we've learned throughout our time doing this stuff that has led us to this point of not being as successful as we would like to be, right? Some of the mistakes that we have made. And what I've learned from all of this time is never give them a reason not to buy your book or not to buy your product, right? Never give them a reason not to, because they already have a million reasons not to. They don't know who you are. They may not like your book. They may, whatever the hell the reason is.
Yeah.
So when we add to that beef online, or this happening or that happening, your political views on stuff, you know, with the mantra of like, yo, I'm just keeping it real kind of stuff, it can deter certain people from following you or supporting you. Now, listen, if you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars on your Kickstarter, if you've made tens of thousands of dollars, this isn't for you. You know what I mean? You can be an a-hole and still get the support. More power to you. This more so is for the people who are maybe starting out, who maybe have barely made any money on Kickstarter or barely make any sales at the show, and you wonder, why am I not being successful? Well, maybe take a look at some of the stuff you may be posting. Take a look at some of the beef you're getting into for no reason. You know what I mean? That's happening online. That people may look at that and say, I don't want to deal with that guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to deal with that guy. So I think that's for me, that's what it is. And I think that there's a difference between being a nice guy and a good person. Me personally, I'm not a nice guy. I don't consider myself a nice guy. What the hell is that? I don't trust nice guys. But I try to be a good person, right? Somebody who isn't an a-hole all the time. You know what I mean? Like, just try to be a good person. That's what I try to do. If you've ever hung out with me at a show or whatever, I'm not here to be a nice guy. I'm trying to be just a good person, man. I'm not going to get in your way. If you're selling something at a show, I'm not going to scream out, hey, come look at my stuff. Forget that stuff. Look at my stuff. That's a D move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that people get caught up in that. I'd rather be head down and working on the brand and be right with someone I likely never meet. Yes, that is 100%.
And it's think about it. I mean, what does it do to you subconsciously? What does it do to you psychologically? You know, because what happens is you're angry, you get frustrated, and I don't need that. I want to stay in the creative zone, right? Life's already tough as it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have a rule of thumb. I don't post about politics. I don't use social media to critique people. For me, I'd rather just put positive energy out there, like what you have, repost what you have, whatever. And I steer away when stuff show up on my feed that I find that it's just not giving me the energy that I'm looking for. I just hit the X. I just hit to eliminate it from my feed, right? And that's it. Simple. I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to broadcast it. I just keep it pushing. And I think that's what works for me. Because life is hard as it is, man. It's like time is not our friend. I mean, I'm constantly on the road for either work or conventions, or I'm dealing with family. I don't have time to give somebody else the energy that's only going to make me mad. I'd rather put the energy into something creative or support another creative. But I try to stay in the positive zone as much as possible. And I take out my aggression in the gym. I take out my aggression, my anger there. It's but me by myself. It's the weights. It's a Joe Rogan podcast or whatever it is. And I'm just doing what I'm doing. And there's nobody hurt from me taking out my anger in silo.
Yeah. Big shout out to Dwayne, who's who's on in the chat. What's up, fellas? I have packages ready to be shipped to you guys tomorrow. Thank you, sir. I think that's from the Kickstarter that he had a few weeks ago. So good for you, man. I'm glad you're getting that stuff out. But yeah, man, like you said, man, there's so much negativity already out there, just in general, just life. To see that in a creative space where me personally, I go to escape all that nonsense, to see it there also, it kills my vibe, bro. You know what I mean? I'm going there to support your work, to see what work you have going on. I want to see your book. I want to see your creative your incredible comic that you have put out. I want to see a film that you create. I want to see that. I don't want to know who did you dirty or who you have problems with this week. There was a time I witnessed online fighting. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that negativity. And like I said, man, if you think that worked for you because you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know what I mean? Then again, this message is not for you. But as far as I'm concerned, and I think we agree in this, we don't have to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? We can always just, whether it's unfollow. I love it how Facebook calls them friends, how it calls everybody friends. And the reality is, to Hades' point, these are people that we're probably never going to meet. You know what I'm saying? They're not our friends. You know what I mean? Some of them are, and some of them grow to be friends. But for the most part, whoever's on like the thousands of people you are following or you're friends with, they're not that. You need to learn how to differentiate the two things. You know what I'm saying? I think we get caught up in that also.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I think we all go through these highs and lows, right? That's life, right? It's cyclical. Sure. And we always want to achieve more than because of the output that we have, and we think the universe is gonna. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, right? But if I always look at it this way: if I didn't just use my platform just for what I do, like I use like on IG, it's really just to put what I create. And I was talking to you the other day. I get at least 8 times a month somebody new I haven't met before that wants to find out where I'm going to be at a convention, or or how they can support or whatever it is. And I have to think, if I was just using that platform for the opposite, I wouldn't be building that fan base, right? And so for me, that's too important for me to give somebody else the time of day just because they're wrong, in my opinion, or I'm right. I'd rather just say, you know what, agree to disagree, keep it pushing. I'm walking the other way. I'm going this route. Remove, go. I don't talk about it. And there's a lot of stuff, we talk about on the back end. We human, right? There's stuff that we get pissed off of. I'd rather vent and silo. But when I'm at an event, I just want to have fun, make connections, and that's it. Because we have the self-inflicted pressure already of, I got to make back the investment I made. I got to do this. I got to be all in. I'm engaged. I just drove 6 hours and I got to set up for 4 hours, and then I got to get to my hotel and I got to get ready for tomorrow. It's like, and you got to be all in. I don't have time to worry about, am I going to see somebody that I just been beefing with at the convention is going to throw me off, is going to disrupt my whole weekend. I'd rather just not ignore it and just stay and focus on creating.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, dude. I mean, again, for me, this is an escape.
It is.
I don't want to bring the outside noise and all of the problems that I have in my life into this. This is my escape. When I go into a convention, when I'm doing a podcast, that's like going into Disney World. You know what I mean? That's like escaping into a land away from everything else where I can just have fun. And so why would I bring some of that with me? Why would I bring some of that baggage into this with me? For what? Like, and you know what's crazy, Lil? Like, think about how tough, and you mentioned this, how tough it is to sit behind that table for 8 hours.
I stand all day.
Well, yeah, and constantly, right? And constantly try to make a living out of it. Try to get people to, take a chance on something that they've never even heard of.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough, and why are we making it tougher with head junk? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to be.
Makes no sense.
And I get it. We're all human. I mean, I was traveling in the state with my team, and somebody tried to run us off the road, right? And so Brooklyn came out of me, and so I found myself in a moment going after the person, and I was like, I had to reset. I was like, what am I doing, Sam? And I was like, we're safe, we're good, stay focused, right? There's that initial reaction, right? But then but somewhere you have to have that conscience to say, hold up, wait a minute, stop. Consequences, there's consequences to your actions. And if we just pause for a second and regroup and say, you know what, I'm out of character right now, get back into my Zen space and just keep it moving, right? It happens. We get triggered all the time. We're human. But
dude, all the
I
time.
think we got to work harder to not allow it to get the best of us.
And I think it's what you talked about, the consequences, right?
Yeah.
What are the consequences of what's about to happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the drama's not your business, don't make it your burden. True.
Yes, love that.
Word.
Look at that Confucius in the house.
That's
right?
a t-shirt, bro. That's a t-shirt.
Confucius.
We are stealing that, Ben.
Yeah, stealing it with pride. I was like, what? This Mr. Miyagi in the house. Left the circle, right the circle.
But yeah, dude, no, that's a good time. I mean, and listen, and again, for those who are maybe just starting out doing this thing, I know at the beginning it looks like, hey man, this is great. Everybody loves each other. Not exactly. Not exactly. No. Don't be surprised.
Yeah,
just don't be a part of it. Don't take part in that stuff.
The reality of anything you break into for the first time, and if you're all in, head down, grinding, but whatever, and you start making some movement, the reality of anything is that the human nature, there's envy. Envy leads to jealousy. Jealousy leads to shots, right? Right? Shots leads to conflict. All these, right? It becomes a just like a domino effect.
Yeah.
But if you avoid it and just stay the course, that will also fade, right? Because they realize I'm not getting anything and I'm throwing shots and I can't touch it, right? It's impenetrable. They're gonna either cave or say, why am I even busting that person's chops? It's just working hard, right? And then all of a sudden next they buy into it. So I think you pick your battles.
Michael, hate leads to the dark side.
Yes.
You already know. Yeah. It's true, dude. It's true. And it's crazy because you know you're in here and you're trying to do your thing or whatever, and you may stumble into something that you probably shouldn't have, and then next thing you know, that person's bashing you and they're coming after you, and then their people come after you, and it's like, what just happened, dude?
Yeah.
Like what just? So you best just stay away from that crap.
And then I'm like, hooty hoo, calling the guys on the block, right? So it's like I'm envious of both of you both and plan to challenge you both to a duel. If I was here,
it's funny. Lori might do that. I'm gonna avoid that, Lori, because I don't want the drama. Okay.
I know. I'm brittle. Don't believe the hype.
Nah, dude, I'm telling you, man. Like we've talked about this in the past too, man. If you feel like you use Facebook and all that other stuff for venting, create a separate account, dude. Create a separate account. Use this one for your comics. Use that one for whatever. I will find you, George. Damn, I've been singled out.
That's it.
Damn it, Sam.
Yes. Someone needs to take the hit.
Wow, I like how you just leave me out there.
Yes, you're infantry. You get there first.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, you son of a mother.
I'll go in to save you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, man. So what else? Anything else you wanted to touch on that, Sam?
Nah, I just think look, life is precious. Tomorrow's not promised. Where do you want to put your energy? Where do you want your last? If this was the last thing you did, is get yourself engaged into a meaningless altercation. Is that how you want to go out because you wanted to be right? Or do you want to go out knowing that you were with people you loved, that you were doing what you loved, right? And then you were actually leaving a mark and inspiring other people to follow suit, right? Where do you want to put that energy? That's the way I look at it, right? Everyone thinks that tomorrow's guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Where do you want to put your energy?
Yeah, what are you going to do with that? Hades is a good point. I've said that to people in the NE1 world. Have 2 accounts on socials, separated. Yeah, dude. Have your accounts for your family and friends who know each other and you're very close and you guys can vent to each other about stuff on social media. And then have your account for your creative stuff, man. Like the creative things that you want to do and stuff like that. And never should they meet. You know what I mean? Like keep them separate.
Yeah.
Keep them separate, man. Like I'm telling you, that's my thing, man. Don't give them a reason not to buy your stuff, dude. Because if people don't, if they don't know who you are, it's easy to just walk away and say, I don't want that. I'm not gonna buy that stuff. You know what I mean? You're not Pokemon. You're not that big that no matter what you do, they're gonna buy your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the reality. We're all just fighting for crumbs, right? And
Right.
that's enough pressure alone. I
Word.
don't need all that other stuff, right? So
Mhm.
you're walking down the block. You wanna show that you're tough. You're gonna go down the block where you see all of the derelicts, or you're gonna go the opposite direction and say, you know what, that's where the abuelitas are. I'm gonna go that way
Yeah,
because it's
abuelita.
safer
That's
than going
grandma.
over there, right?
It's that abuelitas.
I said, I'm gonna go over there. So it's like, I why would you put yourself in that scenario when you have a choice? I think, and that's the other thing, we have choices, right? You
Yeah,
make the
dude.
choice, you take all of it, all that comes with it, right? Because
Mhm.
there's always, life is a boomerang, right? Comes right back at you, right? So pick and choose wisely, and know what you get yourself into, and then also realize that if you're in the service industry, and that's what we're doing, we're providing a service, right? We're entertaining, and we're trying to build an audience. What's your brand identity?
Yeah. Yeah. What is your brand identity? Exactly, dude. Exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah. It is kind of funny to see that. Not funny, but it's kind of weird to see that stuff, man. It's like, what the hell, dude?
Oh, I just exit every time,
Honestly,
and it comes up. I swear to you, it's come up on Twitter, on Facebook, on it just
yeah,
shows up everywhere, and I just go
bro.
click, 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 click.
You know it's quick. I find it the most on like beef is no bueno word. I found it the most on Facebook. I see it the most on Facebook. I don't really go on Twitter, which is where, or X, which is where most people say that used to be. I see it a lot on Facebook. I don't see it as much on Instagram, but I see it a lot on Facebook, bro.
I
Like
see
a
it on
lot of Facebook.
TikTok, Twitter, and
Yeah,
Facebook.
I don't have the TikTok. Yeah, so like to me, I started to just unfriend people who are posting to where who I look at their page and half of the stuff is whether it's political stuff, and even if I agree with your political views, I don't care, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've started just unfollowing people like that. If I don't see any of your work, if I'm here following you or we're following each other because I like the work that you've done and I haven't seen any of that work in like months, dude, obviously you're not doing anything right now. So I might as well just unfollow you. I mean, like, like I think Haiti said it. We've never met each other. We don't know who we are. Why am I putting up with all this crap? You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of it too. Like, it's like people would say, well, if you don't like it, then unfollow. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. It's more like
In your face,
Facebook. Word.
Like, wow.
It is in your face, dude.
Yeah. I find myself hitting the X all the time. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, and now I think I mentioned this the other day. They're having options where they're like, would you like to see more posts like this?
I hit
You can
no.
say yes.
I
hit
hit
no.
I said absolutely not. Yeah.
We'll not be looking at these anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how the algorithms are working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, I love when I see new art show up on my feed. I love when I see
Yes.
new creative
Oh,
show up
dude.
on my feed because I'm like, oh, look at that. And then you get inspiration from it. I don't want to see the other stuff. That's the only reason why I follow other creatives. I just want to see the creativity. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to be part of anything else. I just want to see the art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm sure that this kind of stuff happens at every level, right? At our level, where I'm sure the big dogs also have their own, beefs that they do. But people are still going to buy their stuff when they go to shows. They don't care about that stuff. D says the ads on Facebook are annoying. Word. Facebook is all ads and groups. I don't even see my friends. Word, yo.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. No, it's gotten unbearable, bro. Like
Yes.
it really is, dude. It really is. Dan says, I have a problem on Facebook. Another creative wants to be friends, and as soon as I accept their friend request, they hit me up for work.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
That's a trick. I'm less involved in a lot of things due to other people's politics. That's not what attracted me in the first place.
Word. Yeah. That's the number. I get at least 5 times a week an artist saying want to follow me, and then I look to see who else is they're friends with, and I see, like, if I see they're friends with you or whatever, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, maybe. But then I get solicitations, right? And I'm like, it's like, dude, not even a hello, not even a hug, nothing. It's just like, yo, I'm looking for work. I'm like, do you even know what I do?
Yeah.
Do I do my own work? Right? It's like, really?
Yeah.
So it's that stuff. It drives me nuts. But I don't say anything. It's like, no, I do my own stuff. But thank you. If I know anybody looking for some work, I'll recommend you. But that's it. Boom.
Yeah. No, that's it. No, you're right. You're right. Don't need to put them on blast.
I don't need to put them on blast. I just say thank you, but I'm good.
Yeah, and listen, and if it gets to be too much, you can always report them. You know what I mean, or we'll do whatever you got to do. But like,
Nah, they usually get the point the first time.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I think that we're in like a society where public shaming is fun. Like, you know what I mean? Let me publicly shame this person.
It goes back to the early times, right? They used to take you to the square, the
Down the
town
square.
square, and they would
Yep.
lash you and
Parade you
burn you at the
around and
stake, and right? It's like it was the
it's like
crowd.
that.
They don't
Yo,
even
it
know
is.
why they're mad, but they're there, right? And
Yes,
like,
yeah, because they just want to see the train wreck, right?
yeah.
They just want to be. They just want
Until
to be
they
witness
realize
to
the
it.
person that did being burned is the cousin, and like, oh no, I didn't know
Oh,
it was
no.
Nicholson.
Primo.
Right? It's like, yo, why was I even mad in the first place? Right? Have an opinion. So it's like it's a crazy. I mean, it's just like when I see these things. I forgot the guy's name. He goes to college campuses and he debates students, and then they ask like, why are you protesting? They don't know, right? They're there because their fellow classmates are there, or when they ask for specifics, they really didn't do their research. They're just going off of sound bites on social media. That's why they're angry, but they really didn't do their homework, right? It's that kind of stuff. It could be avoided, right? And it's but that's society.
Yeah, no, for sure. What did Lou say? Lou said, "I avoid the possibility of being guilty by association. Bored people are social media vultures. Yeah,
keyboard
get
warriors.
to work. Get to work. Damn it.
Yeah,
there's so much to do, dude. There's so much to do. Like even like right now, we have the podcast. Right after this, I'm gonna be lettering some of the pages you sent me. Right, you got to go back to finishing your letters. You know what I'm saying? I got. You know, we're always doing stuff. I got a page for my artist for the shameless plug. I'm gonna look to see, make sure that that's good to go. You know what I mean? And then tomorrow we get back to the 9 to 5 because we got to pay the bills. Like
7 a.m. for me.
Well, yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's 8 o'clock for me, really, but yeah, no, for sure. So that doesn't end, you know?
It doesn't end.
And so when do I have time? Like I barely have time to post some positive stuff to promote my stuff, and I have time to put negative stuff up there. Like what the hell, man?
That people. Yeah, you know, it's like, and I want when people come to this show that we're adding value, we're having conversations, we're engaging, and you feel like this is a place that we can just come and hang and just have real talk, you know, and talk to real quality guests, you know, and inspiring people that are trying to make it in the game, and that's what this is all about. It isn't a place for anything other than just inspiration and learning and progress.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, we gotta support each other. We gotta, push each other forward, not bring each other down. It's I mean, it's
I'm going down because you ain't around, baby.
Wow, that took a turn. All right. Well, listen, guys, this has been fun. Next week, there's no show.
Next week, no show. I'm traveling,
No show
but the week after, we do have a show.
We do.
Who's our guest, George?
It's KC.
Yes, KC.
Carrie will be here. Yeah, Carrie will be here.
You can't walk away. It's like a Mike Tyson fight. It happens and it's gone.
Yeah, for real. Pay-per-view, baby.
I used to, I remember back in the days. Thank you guys. Good talking to you. Remember back in the days, the Mike Tyson fights. We used to pay for the pay-per-view. The whole family would come. We'd walk away to the kitchen, get a drink, come back. It's over. Like, what do you mean it's over?
Done. The dude's on the ground. What happened? He knocked him out.
It's like,
he knocked him out. It was over. It was over.
I know.
No, Ben, it was a pleasure having you, my man. I can't wait to see what the movie comes out. Don't forget, guys, Kickstarter right now, The Conversation. If you haven't done so yet, pledge to the campaign. It's got 19 days to go.
Link is in the chat.
Yeah, the link is in the chat. They've already funded, but you know how Kickstarter is. You want to make sure that we exceed the goal in case some fall out or whatever. But yeah, definitely check that out. And then we'll be here in 2 weeks with Kerry. With KC, he'll be on the show, and we'll be talking about clingers. We won't forget that San Martino, and we'll be at some shows coming up, and we'll have some more information. Follow us on social media, because I'll let you do your thing, Sam. Finish it up.
Oh no, I just want to remind everybody, if you didn't have time to back the Kickstarter, that you can pre-order issue number 7 on dutiesworld.com. It'll be shipped out in July, so you can still get your copies as well. I just shared your webpage, George, and put it your feet up.
Oh, thanks.
Klingons. Yes. So, what's going on? So again, Catch the Craze podcast, the first. We are the originators. We are the OGs. I love. There's a bragging rights. We're the first independent comic book podcast in the game. Everybody else are just byproducts of who we are, right? And we do it. We did it.
You're starting beef.
I've started beef.
You started
All
beef.
of you.
We were
I
just
want all of
talking
you.
about this.
Right?
He can help himself. He can help
All
himself.
of you.
He can help himself. It's the
You're
Brooklyn.
no good. Anyway, so
What
for
Who
Indies,
are you? What happened?
I'll put it because now that I know I can put you in there first.
Oh!
Get the lumps.
Nice. I'm like the shield. Okay.
Yes. For Indies by Indies, we identified a void in the game, and everyone's talking about the big two, but no one's talking about the little guys. So that's why we created Catch the Craze podcast. And it only works when you subscribe, you share, you like, and you tell a friend. Because when we grow, the independent community grows. When there are more eyes on the show, there are more eyes on the creators. So we appreciate every single one of you for your loyal support throughout the years. Thank you so much. We are creeping up on issue number 6, episode 600, which is going to be dope. It's going to be fun. Wow. And but yeah, so thank you everybody so much. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, like, share. If you're listening to us on any of the audio platforms, streaming platforms, head over to YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, or leave us a 5-star rating on any of those platforms, because when the algorithms work, we get to move faster.
There's Casey.
Yes, there's Casey.
There he is. Yeah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks, my friend. To master others is control. To master yourself is true power. Look at you guys are deep today, son.
The power.
Hades, cheers. Thank you for staying up. Thank you for staying up. We really appreciate that, man.
Yes.
But yeah, brother. So we will see everybody in a couple of weeks.
So yeah, with that said, I am Sam, the crazy man, Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name,
right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. On Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.